Guess what? It's May, and the Yankees are in a death spiral.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias, alongside my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, what's going on?
That was a rough weekend. Things are rough for the Yankees. That's for sure. We got to talk about that. Hey, by the way, it is a new week, which means you can submit your questions for Fan Mail Friday. Drop them in the comment section on our YouTube channel. If you're on our audio side, head to the description. It has the link to our YouTube channel. Come join over 2,000 Yankees fans here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for being a part. Actually, over 2,200 now. So thank you guys for being a part of our family over here. We love it. We appreciate you. It's Minors Monday. Of course, we have a full look at what happened this past week in the Yankees minor league system. And, I'm sure you need some good news. So there's some really good news throughout the Yankees system and some really big-time performances we're going to talk about a little bit later. We have a Cleveland series preview. But first, Stacey, this past weekend, very rough. Winning on Friday. That was back-to-back wins at that point. Then dropped 3 straight, and it all just fell apart on Sunday.
Yeah, Thursday. One Thursday, lost Friday, Saturday,
Thursday,
Sunday.
lost Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Weird weekend.
Oof. It was, I think the worst game was Saturday. And everyone's going to think the worst game was Sunday because 15-2, Nestor, this and that. But I feel like Saturday was the worst game just because the offense didn't do anything against Nathan Eovaldi. And the pitching wasn't bad. It's an offensive problem, obviously. And obviously injuries are playing a part and, other aspects of the Yankees roster are playing a part. And it's just, this was a rough one. I wasn't expecting them to do great going into Texas. We talked about how Texas was on a slide. They were walked off twice against Cincinnati. And it was just, just 3 horrible games against Cincinnati. But I wasn't expecting this. And I certainly wasn't expecting Sunday's result at all.
So you're obviously been around the game a long time. I've been around the game, I would say, a long time too. And I know a lot of Yankees fans right now are definitely starting to panic, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We have a little bit of an update on Harrison Bader in just a couple of minutes. And of course, we're going to talk about Aaron Judge and some of the injuries that are of front of mind.
Yeah.
But your thoughts, what I keep seeing in our comments. I mean, again, I read every comment, so watch what you say. I read every comment. And Yankees fans, our listeners in particular, have been flabbergasted by this construction of the roster.
Yeah.
Are you as flabbergasted as some of our fans are?
I'm not flabbergasted. I'm just not surprised that it's backfiring on the Yankees because, they did some things in the winter, but they didn't do enough in the winter. And they should have known that Yankee fans weren't going to be satisfied with this. And they should have known that injuries happen, not this many injuries, but that injuries happen and that you need to construct a roster better. And this has been an issue for the Yankees for the past, decade at this point. The one year where things worked out for them, and it was like a miracle, was 2019. And that was the year when they had, 30 guys go on the IL, and it was like a record of how many people were injured, and they still ended up winning 103 games because for some reason, everyone they signed, everyone they brought up from AAA had like the best years of their lives, and things just worked out for them. But you can't expect that all the time. And you can't expect some of these guys to have the best year ever when they're called up to play for an injured player. And this is just I'm not as flabbergasted. I'm just I'm not surprised. I'm just not, just from what they didn't do this winter. It's just it's all coming to a head really early in the season.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it this early. I wasn't expecting it to be a problem this early. That's what I mean.
So a lot of our fans are also, calling for the Cashman head. I mean, I think that's just kind of, at this point, barking up the wrong tree, honestly. I have nothing to do with that. But I think what it is a lot of fans are also pointing to how this team has not changed since 2022.
Right.
In reality. Yes, you add Volpe, obviously different, but for the most part, it's kind of the same guys. My question to you is, and we're going to talk about Aaron Judge here in a second, but was Aaron Judge's historical year, was that kind of like, smoke and mirrors for what was really hiding beneath the covers?
I think in the second half it was. Like the first half, I don't understand how they did what they did in the first half. Some of it had to do with, they did really well against Toronto in the first half, and then Toronto turned it around and did better in the second half. And I feel like when they were facing teams in the first half, those teams weren't playing up to the level that they were going to play up to, and the Yankees were just playing out of their minds. I don't know. I really still don't feel like this team is as bad as they're playing. And I didn't feel like they were as bad as they were playing in 2022, even though that ugly team showed up against Houston in the ALCS. They're just so odd to watch. Like, I don't understand how these guys can't string together hits, because when you look at the lineup when they're healthy, you would think these guys would be scoring 6 to 8 runs a game, and it's just not happening. And it's just a really odd. I just can't figure out what is going on with this team at all.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts on this. I know you will. You guys have been showing up recently. We appreciate your fervor for this team. We are here for you, and we are a part of your lives, I like to think. And we can kind of get through this together. Speaking of getting through things, Stacey, and Aaron Judge update. Obviously, left the game on Thursday with some hip discomfort. We talked about it before the weekend hit. We didn't really get massive news out of this, which I guess is good, because the massive news would probably be IL stint, which is still a possibility as of this recording. This is coming from MLB Trade Rumors. The Yankees will look to make a decision by Monday. So probably by the time you're watching this, they're probably having that conversation as we speak, about whether or not Judge needs a stint on the 10-day injured list to fully heal up. The Boone noted, man, I flipped those O's, that Judge has shown a lot of improvements in the last couple of days. And then on top of that, the unofficial replacement for him was Jake Bauers. Bauers, of course, made that incredible catch in left field in a position that he doesn't really play, by the way, and then kind of crashed into the wall. He had MRIs. This is coming from Greg Joyce. He will avoid the IL. The MRI came back clean and is in line to return to the mix once the swelling goes down. So good for him. I mean, that's great, because he's worked his tail off to get back to the majors, and I'm super happy for Jake Bauers to get the opportunity. He's been mashing in the month of April down with the Rail Riders. But yeah, just some updates. Again, we don't fully know the full picture of Aaron Judge yet.
Yeah, the Bowers thing was a nightmare, and it recalled the Dustin Fowler incident that happened years ago. How many years ago was that? Yankees put him in the game. He's making his debut. He crashes into that utility box at Guaranteed Rate Field now in Chicago, wrecks his knee. First game he's ever played, wrecks his knee, and he was never the same again after that. So when the Bowers thing happened, it was just like, again, thank God it's not that same situation, but it's just like, really? Can they get a break? Can this team get a break at some point? It's unbelievable. But the Boone, see, here I go, confusing my errands. The Judge thing. Now, is it possible on Monday, if they announce a 10-game IL stint, that they could do retroactive to like Friday, so it won't quite be 10 days?
They can do 3 days. Yeah.
Okay.
They can do up to 3 days.
Okay. So that might not be as bad. And I would much rather him sit out and just fully recover than be like, yeah, I'm fine, and then strain it even worse, and then have to be out for 3 months. So
we'll see how that plays out. Of course, the Yankees are back at home, so long flight to get back from Texas, and then we'll host the Cleveland Guardians starting here tonight. We're going to preview that in a little bit later on in the show. Stacey, didn't want to give only negativity here in the show. I guess the Bowers thing is positive, best case, bad case. But the bullpen pitched pretty well here this weekend as well. 8 1/3 shutout innings prior to that Sunday game, which, I mean, come on, call that a wash. Nothing. But I mean, Michael King 2 1/3, Ron Marinaccio an inning, Hamilton, Peralta, Cordero had 2 shutout frames, Abreu had a shutout frame, got a little scary there on Sunday with a potential injury. But I mean, the bullpen, we've kind of sang the praises a little bit, but they've looked good this season.
Yeah. And funnily enough, I was looking at Baseball Reference to try and look at some numbers, and Ian Hamilton is 5th in WAR for the Yankees. Just thought that was bizarre. Yes.
Yeah. A guy that was just a random signing. Let's be frank. He's really showed up.
He really
Completely showed up.
has. Yeah, it's he's become the Lucas Lecky of 2023. So the
Yeah.
guy that comes out of
Shaking.
nowhere that you don't expect to make a roster, you don't know really anything about him, and here he is. Yeah.
Good April.
Mm-hmm.
Good April. April's done, by the way. Happy May.
Yeah.
And then one last thing here in our first segment, Stacey, Harrison Bader. So the numbers he's had on his rehab stint may not necessarily tell the whole story here. This is coming from Connor Foley of the Times Tribune, friend of the show. After the Rail Riders lost on Sunday, they're off to a real slow start, 10-17 in the month of April. Harrison Bader went 0 for 4 while serving as the DH. He's 2 for 19 with the Rail Riders, and overall in his 7 rehab games, 3 for 25. Again, that doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. Almost had a homer on Saturday that was right up against the wall. That was potentially robbed. It was a great catch nonetheless. Would have been extra bases had that not been caught. He was also robbed of a double and a single throughout the weekend in Worcester. So he's been hitting the baseball hard. I'm seeing some good exit velos out of him, 102, 103 off of the bat. So that is something to watch out for. If I had to venture a guess, what the Yankees could be doing here is Bader would be available this week at some point, maybe after the Cleveland series, if I had to take a guess. I got to imagine if Judge ends up going down on the IL, it might not be Bader right away. I'd imagine it would be Franchy Cordero first. And then it would probably be Bader. I think Bader needs a couple of more games. He only, to my knowledge, I have to double check, but I think he only played 1 9-inning game fully this weekend.
Yeah.
So
I saw May 5th as a possible day for him to return. So that could be in play because that gives him a few days to play some more before he gets called up. So
yeah, I'd imagine it's Cordero. That would take the spot in the roster. Remember, he got optioned down over the weekend as well, and then would potentially be the one back up. The series starts tonight. Cleveland in town. Yankees trying to catch them on a bit of skid as well. They're not in that 3 walk-offs losses in a row, but they ended up dropping their weekend series. So we'll see if the Yankees can kind of catch them on a backslide. You can catch that whole series on the SiriusXM app, or however you listen to SiriusXM. Just get a free trial, or of course a subscription plan. Coming up in a second, we have a full look at the Yankees minor league system with some of the top performers over the last week.
if you're like me and you want to make healthier snack choices, but you don't want to compromise on taste, I've got just the thing for you. Built Bars and Built Puffs. Built Bars are healthy and taste amazing. Seriously, they taste so amazing you won't think they're good for you. You have to try them. And what makes Built Bars so good? Well, for starters, they're all covered in 100% real dark chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. They come in unbelievable flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and cookies and cream. And now you don't need to wait for a box. For years, we've been telling you to order Built Bars at Built.com, but now you can get them at your local Walmart or Sam's Club. And while you can still get your specialty flavors at Built.com, you can head to your nearest Walmart, walk to the pharmacy section, and grab yourself a box of Built Bars. Or if you're close to a Sam's Club, run in and grab a 13-bar box. That's BUILT, Built Bar. And this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnMLB.
Hey, back here on Locked On Yankees. Hey, thanks for making us your first listen every day. Coming up on Tuesday, of course, we will get you a wrap-up of what happened in Monday's game, see if the offense can kind of figure it out here in Game 1 against the Cleveland Guardians. Maybe a little home cooking to help them out. We will see. But again, hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss anything. You could always catch the series on the SiriusXM app or SiriusXM, however you want to do it. As always, it's Miners Monday here on Locked On Yankees. We chat about the top performers in the Yankees system every week. So, of course, hit subscribe and you don't miss a single second of it. Stacey, we'll start in Somerset. They had a 5-game winning streak earlier this week and was snapped on Saturday in game 2 of a doubleheader. They got rained out on Friday. But one of the big stories right now has been Brandon Lockridge. He has been swinging well, 2 for 4 on Thursday with a double and a run batted in. He went 3 for 4 on Saturday, picked up a pair of triples. And we kind of talked about this recently as well, Stacey. The running game for Somerset has been very interesting to watch out for here this season. They have been running amok, quite literally. They've been running like crazy on the base paths, and that continued. Brandon Lockridge picked up 2 more stolen bases this week. He leads the Eastern League with 10, and it should be noted that Jason Dominguez, as a matter of fact, is right behind him with 9 as some of the top 2 performers in the Eastern League. But the real big thing was Sports Center top 10. Look, I know it doesn't have the same fervor as it did in the late 90s and early 2000s, but Brandon Lockridge did make Sports Center top 10 with an incredible diving catch. If you're on our YouTube side, you're obviously watching that right now. If you're on the audio side, you always got to hop on over to the YouTube side. But big week for Brandon Lockridge. He's one of the top performers in the Yankee system here. Speaking of some guys that just flat out played this week, Aaron Palensky. This guy has been with the Hudson Valley Renegades. He has homered in 4 straight games, and he's the 3rd Renegade to do so since 2005. This includes a 2-homer game on Wednesday, which was the first multi-home run game of his career. That also included a grand slam. He's got 6 bombs in his last 5 games. On top of that, he's throwing guys out from left field. He had an incredible throw from left field on Friday night to nab a runner in a big crucial spot. He has just been tearing the cover off the baseball, and Aaron Palensky is probably a name you haven't really heard of. He's not ranked in the Yankees top 25 prospects. He's not ranked in any top prospects list. He wasn't even drafted by the Yankees. He was a non-drafted free agent that the Yankees ended up signing out of Nebraska. He's been tearing the cover off the baseball since mid last summer when he joined the Yankee system. He has been a huge standout performer that no one has really expected, at least from, the lists that we all take as Bible. So Aaron Palensky is having had an incredible week. I mean, just a flat out incredible week. That's a guy I'm looking for. See if he can continue that here throughout this next week. The Renegades are finally returning home. They had a 2-week road trip and are finally back home in New York. And then just as an aside there, Grant Richardson had a home run robbery on Sunday. He didn't make Sports Center top 10 off of it, to my knowledge, but did end up robbing a home run. So it wasn't just Brandon Lockridge making some highlight reel grabs. And then we'll send it on over to Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. Tanner Tully, that's probably also a name that you're not really considering or thinking about. We talk a lot about guys that are on that top list, your Jason Dominguez's of the world, your Matt Crooks of the world, those guys that you're kind of anticipating being members of the Yankees here sooner rather than later. But Tanner Tully was a free agent, signed a minor league deal with the Rail Riders or with the Yankees, and of course got assigned to the Rail Riders. He had an incredible start on Wednesday, 5 2/3, 4 hits. He gave up an unearned run and ended up tying a career high with 9 strikeouts. Those 9 strikeouts he had back in May of 2017 when he was in the Cleveland organization pitching for Low A Lake County. So big outing for him. He got that 9th strikeout as the first out of the 5th inning. So he was really, really on a roll in Worcester. He had been struggling a little bit to start the season, and that whole Rail Riders pitching staff has been struggling to start the year on a consistent basis. So to see Tanner Tully really step up in a big way, that's really huge. Some other quick notes here on the Rail Riders. Randy Vasquez also had a nice outing this week, and we're talking about how some of the pitching staff has been struggling in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. Nice to see Randy Vasquez in his first taste of AAA ball this season come out in a big way. Mickey Gasper picked up a hit on Sunday. He now has a 7-game hitting streak. And one of the hot topics that's been around baseball recently, Stace, is the ABS system, the automatic balls and strike system. You may know this as the robot umpire system. This is now officially in place in AAA baseball. It started this weekend, and we've seen it already in action. Again, if you're on our YouTube side, you're watching that right now, how it all plays out. This is from a game that's not in the Yankee system. But it is interesting to see. So if you watched, you had a quick clip of it during the fall league this past year. You get 3 challenges throughout a game. If you're correct on your challenge, you keep it. If you're incorrect, you lose it. So you could potentially just keep running it all game long. It has to be called by either the batter or the from the dugout. One of the coaches has to call it. But yeah, it's really quick. It's actually kind of miraculous how fast it is. You call for a challenge, the umpire taps his head, that's the signal, and then they flash it up on the video screen. It automatically shows the pitch, it shows where the strike zone is, and it shows if there was a strike or a ball, and then you move on. So pretty incredible, and it's pretty cool to see it in full action now. And obviously there's going to be some growing pains and technical issues and all that kind of stuff. That's why they're working it out right now in AAA. But this is a thing now moving forward, which tells me in my mind, we're close. Remember, we had all the rule changes that are in place now in Major League Baseball were in minor league baseball last season. So we'll see. Maybe next season we might have that ABS system, aka your robo umps. I don't think it's like what everyone was anticipating robot umpires being like, where it's just like a literal robot back there calling balls and strikes.
That would be cool, though.
It would be, it'd be interesting to say the least. But I think it's more so going to be some sort of iteration of this, at least to start to kind of like bridge the gap, I guess, until we get to 2050, and then we figure out, hey, here's how we get the robot umpires out there calling balls and strikes using Chat GPT or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see this in full action. So just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was an interesting point here over the weekend. Let us know which prospects you're most interested in. Of course, again, we're covering the top performers throughout the week, but we want to make sure you're informed on how everybody is playing, and just so you know, and be a more well-rounded Yankees fan. So thanks so much for sticking around and checking that out. We're going to take one last breather. When we come back, we have a setup, of course, of the Cleveland series, the Guardians in town for a couple of games. Yankees, by the way, get a much needed day off on Thursday. So that's nice. But we got a hot, cold, and heating up pitching matchups in a second.
For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know that the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop in eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. It's time for hot, cold, and heating up because we're heading out of one series and heading into another. And let's start with the good stuff, the hot.
Yeah. Tell me, Stacey, this, we look, I feel like it's hard to give pitchers love.
Yeah.
Always, especially out of the pen, but you're hot today. It's pretty real right now.
Oh yeah. Michael King. We have to talk about Michael King because he's been great. Save one iffy start, April 1st, or not start, appearance, April 1st. He has allowed 1 run in 14 innings since then in 7 outings. He's had 8 totals if you count the April 1st outing. He has just been great. And he had that 7-out save on Thursday night, relieving Garrett Cole. And he has just looked better and better as the outings have gone on. I've noticed his velocity is getting better. And I've figured that this would be the case for him because he's coming back from that broken elbow and the surgery and everything. And he was a big key last year. He was a big loss last year. And to have him back and healthy and doing this well, it's just so great. I mean, if the offense could pick things up, it'd be even better. But yeah, no, Michael King has just been really good. And I'm excited for him because he needed this kind of a start.
Yeah, we had already mentioned how well the bullpen's been pitching safe Sunday. Again, wash Sunday. Don't care about it. 15-2. Could have been 3-2. Doesn't matter. Anyway, Stacey, who is cold?
The entire offense is cold. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
like some guys are hitting, but the entire offense cannot string together enough hits to do anything more than score 2 runs. They scored 4 the other night, but that's an anomaly compared to the rest of these games. They've lost 6 out of their last 8. They've been outscored 24-8 in Texas. And we talked about it last week, how it's a struggle for this team to get anything more than a couple of runs. And again, that 4 felt like an anomaly. The 12 against the Twins, definitely an anomaly compared to the rest of the games. Just, you're lucky if they score 2. And then even on Saturday, they couldn't score anything against Nathan Eovaldi. Just 3 hits, couldn't walk. It was a mess. And they had Willie Calhoun cleaning up. So that just shows you the state of this team right now when you have Willie Calhoun as the cleanup batter in in your lineup.
I had Willie Calhoun when he was in high A ball in Rancho Cucamonga. It was my first year working in baseball. Willie Calhoun was great. He wasn't cleaning up then either. Stacey, who's heating up?
The Yankees fan base is heating up. Okay, yes, I understand you're all very angry that the Yankees are playing as bad as they are. But wow, it is just the reactions to this bad 2 weeks of play is amazing. It's amazing to me. I don't even know how to express this. The baseball season is long. There's a reason why they're doing so badly. This isn't just they're doing badly. Like, there are injuries in play. There are a lot of guys that they expected to be playing who aren't playing right now. And people need to remember that, because I feel like some people are forgetting that fact.
Sure.
They're acting like this team would be this bad if they had
Everybody
all
was
those
there.
guys. Yeah. And that's not the case.
Yeah, it's fair. Totally fair. Pitching matchups throughout the weekend. Monday night affair, Domingo Germán versus Cal Quantrill. Are you back on, I wouldn't say he's on the hype train, but are you back on the right side of history with Domingo Germán? Okay. I've always liked Cal Quantrill. I saw him pitch when he was a wee lad, early 20s when he was in the San Diego system. I've always liked Cal Quantrill. I think he's got nasty stuff. It's just about putting it consistently at the major league level, which he's had good flashes of it. So be looking out for that here tonight in game 1. Garrett Cole versus Tanner Bybee. I have a nice connection to Tanner Bybee. We went to the same school. Cal State Fullerton just made his major league debut this past week. Congratulations, Tanner. Welcome to Major League Baseball. But Garrett Cole, I mean, what are your thoughts on Garrett Cole, Stacey? Do you like this guy?
Yeah, I like Garrett Cole. He can stay.
You can stay. You can sit at the table. You can come to the barbecue.
Yeah.
Game 3 finale, Shane Bieber versus Clark Schmidt. I know you are Clark Schmidt's #1 fan.
Yeah, I was happy he lasted 5 on Friday, but
Gave up 5.
Gave up 5. So yeah, no, lasting 5 is good. Giving up 5, not good. And why is he keeps being lined up against all these good pitchers? He was lined up against DeGrom on Friday.
Well, I mean, we didn't even mention DeGrom, man. Gosh, I really feel I just like, what a weird, man. I feel so bad. I want Jacob DeGrom to be on the field. I just do.
I do too.
As a baseball fan, I just want this guy to play. It's so heartbreaking to see this guy go through this stuff, and the way he reacted is just watching his face is just like, it's just discouraging, man.
Yeah,
it's such a bummer. But yeah, we'll see how he does against Shane Bieber. We'll see. We'll see. You can catch the whole series, of course, on the SiriusXM app and SiriusXM against Cleveland. Game 1 tonight, game 2 Tuesday, game 3 Wednesday, day off Thursday. Man, to the Yankees, can they win 2 of 3 and get that day off? Like, win game 1, win game 3, or win game 2, win game 3, like anything to get to the happy.
If they lose the Cole start, they're in trouble.
That's why I changed what I was saying there, because I was like, oh yeah, Cole goes game 2. We'll see. Domingo Germán, I'm not going to say he needs to go out and shove 7. We never anticipate that. But again, 5 is the mark. 5, 3 or less. Keep him in the running. Yeah, that's all he's got to do. And he's been striking guys out recently. So we'll see if that continues. Hey, coming up tomorrow on Locked On Yankees, of course, we will wrap up game 1 of the series, give you our thoughts. So hit that subscribe button and you won't miss a second here on our YouTube side. Come join the family. And again, of course, you can always drop questions down in the comment section to be a part of our Friday shows. That's going to do it for our first episode of May. I'm Steve Granato.
And I'm Stacey Gotsulias, and we'll see you tomorrow.